Maybe I'm not playing the hero in this myth, this unauthored narrative, as Patrick Harpur would call it. At the very least, this journey isn't all about me. The hero archetype is about overcoming obstacles and bravely taking on the world. I feel like I've embarked on that type of journey by moving out here. But it's not as romantic as that, and it doesn't feel like that. The more important qualities of the hero are those of self-sacrifice and the pursuit of a greater good. I definitely sacrificed taking on the job here, being so far away from my family. But now I only get to see my son every other weekend. And it's difficult. Archetypes, according to Carl Jung, are endowed with personality at the outset and manifest themselves as daimons, as personal agencies, felt as actual experiences. Like I mentioned in my last video, I take Jung's description of personal daimons to mean they're independent and autonomous, experienced by us as individual agencies that have their own agenda, their own master plan. So the word personal there doesn't mean our own personal self-interest. They're not really personal from the perspective of relating to us and our own individual desires and well-being. They may not even care about us as individuals. In the grand scheme of things, our lives, our destinies are not only about us. Bernardo Kastrup would call the daimon an impersonal natural force, one that guides us, that drives us toward a more instinctive, further-reaching, holistic telos. Our daimons can be relentless and even brutal in this regard. That's because they're working from a broader perspective. They're playing a bigger game that involves a greater good. And these daimons may just be an expression of even more general archetypes or patterns in the mind of nature. Jung described a few such universal patterns: the hero, persona, shadow, anima, animus, eternal youth, old wise man, trickster, mother, child, animal, healer, and self. I'd romanticize my daimon to be the hero, especially when I feel like there's so much more I'll have to sacrifice for where my life is headed, for where I'm fated to go. Although it also feels like the trickster at times, compelling me to disrupt the status quo and challenge social and spiritual norms. According to Bernardo, the trickster may be a repressed element in our modern, rationalist, and often dogmatic culture that acts as a reminder of a more fundamental reality. Leaving work early for my bi-weekly trip back home. In this book, Patrick Harpur writes about the other world where these archetypes exist. All of the daimons, demons, angels, fairies, and gods. But that we've taken this other world and we've turned it into an abstraction, calling it things like imagination, for example. He writes, "Imagination is independent and autonomous. It precedes and underpins mere perception, and it spontaneously produces those images. Gods, daimons, and heroes who interact in the unauthored narratives we call myths."
On behalf of Alaska Airlines and our One World Airline partners, welcome on board.
This is home. This is where my heart is. Oh, my baby? Metaphorically, of course, because everything is metaphor. Everything is myth, at least for an idealist where everything is mind. The fundamental nature of reality is consciousness. This physical world around us, everything we perceive and all of the events in it is just a symbolic reality. It points to something more, a greater mental reality. The whole world is therefore pregnant with meaning, as Bernardo Kastrup would say. According to Bernardo, archetypes aren't just within us, they're around us in the form of the physical world. They're not just our own psychic templates, but also the universe's psychic template, the template of behavior for the universal mind. Everything we notice as regularities and patterns in the world around us, the so-called laws of physics, are templates of behavior in mind at large. What we perceive as matter may be what this mind at large, the mind of nature or the mind of God, looks like to us from the outside. We don't experience it firsthand from its own perspective, the way we experience our own thoughts, our own mental patterns. They are unconscious to us in that we don't have direct access to mind at large, which may be like what Jung describes as the collective unconscious. But both the inner mind of the individual and the external mind of the world may be expressions of the same underlying archetypal reality. And the archetypes in this world are just patterns of behavior. If the world is entirely mental, these are mental patterns, patterns in the mind of nature, tendencies, dispositions, and preferences. Even if the world were beyond the physical, beyond even space and time, whatever is really going on, it's still something. It has properties. It exists. To be is to have properties, as Bernardo would say. These archetypes express themselves as daimonic forces, as impulses within all of us that serve a greater purpose. Not a selfish purpose, but an impersonal purpose. What are you laughing at? I'm talking about you here. You little rascal.
Dude, good stuff, guys. Any questions, anything?